Hello, in this program we're going to use nested for loops to draw an arrow pattern. So in this example I put 3 columns, so 1, 2, 3. So it's going to look like this. So there's two things to keep in mind: number of columns and the rows. The rows will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this program will have 5 rows. 5 rows if there are 3 columns. So keep that ratio in mind. So let's start the program. So int columns, the user will supply that, so ask the user to enter the number of columns Alright, so now we got to deal with the rows. So int rows equals, so there are 3 columns, there are 5 rows, that means 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. So the ratio will be columns times 2 minus 1. Alright, so now that we have that dealt with, we need the for loops. So the first for loop that will deal with the rows, it's going to be int r equals 1. As long as r is less than or equal to the rows, we're going to keep adding 1 to r. Deals with rows. So inside this for loop is the for loop that deals with the columns. So let's say as long as c is less than or equal to the columns, we're going to keep adding 1 to c. Deals with columns. Alright, so here is where we decide whether we want a star or a space. So if r is 1 and c is 1, there is a star. If r is 2 and c is 2, there's a star. If r is 3 and c is 3, there's a star. So if r equals c, we will see out a star. But we still have to deal with these 2 stars over here. So, or, let me write it down first and then I'll explain how it works. So if c plus r is equal to rows plus 1, there's also a star. Alright, so keep in mind for the columns, you could only go up to column number 3 if the user enters 3 columns. Alright, so let's say, as an example, that the row is 4. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This star over here. So if row is 4 and column is 1, it's going to see 4 plus 1 is 5. Alright, so this is 5. And the rows is, there's 5. It's going to be 6. 5 is not equal to 6, so it won't see out a star. But let's say when c is 2, it's going to say 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 is equal to 6. So on the second one, it will see out a star. For the last one, the row is going to be 5. And c is 1, so 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is equal to 6. It will see out a star on the first one. On the second one, in the second column, c is going to equal 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is not equal to 6, so no star there. So let's change this back to 1. So if these conditions are met, there's going to be a star. Or else, if they're not met, it will see out a space. If the conditions are not met, there will be a space. Alright, and after every column is done, it's going to end the line and start the new line. And here we just return 0. Now we run to see if this program works. Sorry, I forgot the semicolon here. And I forgot the semicolon here. Alright, so it's going to ask me to enter the number of columns, let's say 4, and it's going to show me this pattern which has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and it should have 4 times 2, 8, 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. And just to run it again, say we put 20 columns, it's going to have an arrow that looks like that. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. Goodbye.